No, you are not seeing things. The SDG shop now has a shooting star. There's so much demand for the bladed slayers that I needed a way to make them faster, be more efficient, and etc. And there's hardly a better way than one of these bad boys. I have already put it to task. I have made so many baits because at the time of this filming, Black Friday is right around the corner, and while I didn't plan on it originally, I'm gonna drop a huge bait drop on Black Friday, and biggest one I've ever done. It's gonna have over 2,000 individual baits packaged up in box sets and combos and different things, all thanks to this bad boy. So today, we are going to introduce it to the channel. We're going to make some, we're gonna make all kinds of stuff. We're gonna make swim baits. We're gonna make some soft jerk baits, I think. We're gonna do some crushers. We're gonna do anything else, maybe some shrimp and some Ned craws. I don't know what we're gonna get into, but this thing does it all. We're gonna laminate with it. So let me get my act together here and I'll show you how it works. So I suppose it is possible that some of you may have never even heard of a shooting star, don't really know what it is. So let me run through it real quick. I'm still a newbie, so I don't have all the answers, but I do know how it works in general. So we've got two hoppers here. Each of those will hold 12 cups of plastic. That's insane, 24 cups total, and this is the mini. They actually make a bigger one too, but I got this one, perfect for the home bait maker. You can see it's got a port over here, it's got a port over here, and then it's got a port in the middle. Plastic goes in here. There's a heating unit inside. There's also these motors on the top that has a paddle that constantly stirs the plastic so it keeps your flake suspended and so forth. You set your desired temperature down here. If you want to shoot a solid color bait, you would go to the side ports and just take out of just one. If you want to do a laminate, two colors, you'd have your one color here, one color there, then go to the middle port and suck out of the middle port. While I'm actually warming up the plastic, I turn these guys on, so by the time the plastic is ready and the colors are ready, both of these pots are up to temp, and at that point, ladies and gentlemen, it is quite literally set it and forget it. All right, let me get these guys plugged in. It does require its own electrical outlet. The total ampage on the Mini is just about 17 amps, so a 20 amp breaker is required. Can't really mix it with anything else. I actually had to run that new line into the shop just to be able to have this because I got two different microwaves that take up the rest of it. So this is the control panel. I'm going to hit the set button and set this side up to 315. There we go. I'll set this side up to 310. This will be my belly side. I'm going to always run belly colors on the right and top colors on the left. I like the belly color to be just a little bit colder than the top color, because if the top color bleeds over into the belly, it looks a lot better than if the belly bleeds up into the top. So I set that just a little bit lower. These guys will get going. And then the other thing we're going to turn on, which I got after the fact, didn't realize it was as important as it was, but boy, is it a critical piece of equipment. It is this guy right here. That is a separate injector. That's our injector. That is a separate injector warmer. Gonna set that on 375. There we go, and get it warmed up separately. Once it's warmed up, this is actually a system where the injectors function best at their warmest. So once it's fully up to temp, it's really, really smooth, and we'll actually move it off of the heating unit there and put it right there in the middle. It's made to keep warm right there. So this whole lower unit, that whole block unit underneath the pots and down and through, is all warm, so it keeps everything nice and toasty. No plug ups, no jam ups, no seizing plastic or anything like that. So like I said, we're going to take this back off, put it on our separate warmer while everything else warms up, and we'll turn our attention to the plastic. I've got it already ready to go here. 2 3-cup cups. We'll put one in one microwave, one in the other. I'll get it vacked out, and then once it's all ready to go, we'll build a color. All right, our first 3 cups is ready to rock and roll, fresh out of the vac. We are ready to build the top color. And the laminate we're doing today is one that we did together on an SDG uncut. I'm excited to see it in a bunch of different baits today. That is Molten Swamp Dragon. You guys remember that one? The top is super simple. All it is black 103. 30 drops per cup, which is going to be like 90 drops. One sec. Since we're dealing with such large quantities, I saw a little hack from some other guys that use the shooting star, and they get these plastic syringes. So word on the street is that 30 drops is 1 cc. See those measurements there? So we need 3, so we need 3 cc's. We'll stick it in the top of this, turn it upside down, channel my inner nurse, and suck up 3. Oh, here we go. Yeah. There's our black pigment, and that is it for the top. If you remember, it's just a super dark, solid black top. Doesn't get much easier than that. Looking good. And get this guy in the microwave. We'll turn our attention to the belly color, where all the magic happens. Here we go. Second color here. Sorry about the lighting, by the way. It's nighttime, so I have no sunlight, and we kind of have some company here. I'm usually standing over there where the lighting is better, so hopefully this isn't too terrible. But the bottom of this guy is going to be a mixture of different hollow shifts. The Onyxia is the dragon, swamp dragon. So we're going to start with that one. Where's my cheat sheet? Alright, yeah, so it is 1/16 of a teaspoon of Onyxia, but we have 3, and I'm not going to try to worry about that. I'm actually just going to do 3 1/16. If it was 4, we could just go up to, what would that be, 1/4? But since it's only 3, let's just take the time to do 3 of these. And likewise, 1/16 of gold holographic 015. There's 3. Sticking with the 16th, black 35 or medium 035, 040, whatever you got. And 3. Remember that on this one, there's no pigment in the bottom, but that black flake acts as a backer and it pulls out all the juicy goodness in the hollow shift. I added red holographic 015 to it last time, and I liked that effect, so it was 1/16 on that one too. 3. If you can believe it, one more 1/16, black 15, 015 black. And that is where, minus the red holographic, I did add that, but that is where the traditional or the normal, what Michael did on his channel, and that where this came from. We went the next step because we wanted it to be molten, so we pulled out molten core to go along with the Onyxia. And I think in the original we put a 1/16 of this in there. We only want to do a 32nd of this time. A 1/3. Beautiful. That is a lot going on, but man, does it look good once it's all put together. Ooh, yeah. You guys remember this? Oh man, when it interacts with that black top, it does magical things. All that red, you can't really see it on camera, big shocker, red doesn't come through, but lots of red here, what I'm looking at, and when it interacts with the black top, oh my gosh. And then you got this orange Nixia belly going on. So good. Let's move you guys over here because it's just about time to get our plastics. I warmed it back up in the microwave, put them in the pots here, and then I can just turn these guys on and let it kind of do its thing while I clean up my mess. All right, first up is going to be our belly color. Make sure that we are good to go there. Everything's loose. Get it out of the old Mikey Mike. Pour her down in there. You'll always have a little bit left over. Can always melt that back down, add it to it after the fact or while it's spinning, whatever. I'm going to tighten these up just so that the lid doesn't spin as the motor spins. Come down here, hit a little switch, and there you can see that paddle is now spinning inside. All of that wonderful hollow shift and flake suspended so that every shot is super tasty. All right, loosen this one up. Got our black top color. Go ahead and tighten these down. We don't have any flake in this one, but I'm going to turn it on anyway just to kind of keep it moving. Sometimes you'll get a little film that that develops on top of your plastic, and that paddle will keep that from happening as well. All right, these guys are good to go. As you can see here, we are at 313 and 307. It will hold its temperature. I believe the instructions said like within 3 to 5 degrees or whatever, but I've really not seen even that much of a variance. Reminder, if I hit the set button, this one was set to 315 and that one was set to 310, so they're already right on where they need to be, and now I have time to clean up all of this garbage. All right, we're ready to rock and roll. Got my extra protective gloves on. These actually come with the unit because everything here, especially the injector, gets super toasty by design. This black stuff that's on here actually didn't come with it. This is some Amazon high heat wrap that you would put like in a vehicle around certain hoses. It does an awesome job to save your hands. This is also an aftermarket deal. I wanted something a little bit bigger. It actually comes with just a little finger deal to pull out, and it was killing my hands. I actually have a little bit of arthritis in my right hand, so I got something like this. Works a lot better. So with that said, we are doing a laminate, so it is very, very, very important that you remember which side is which, especially as we work this injector, because whatever plastic we don't shoot in here, we're actually going to put in the port and push back into the unit. So if you flip it, in our case, if we flip it and put our black stuff over here, it's going to ruin the whole shot, right? All that plastic is going to get totally jacked up. So what most guys do, what I have done here, is I put a little blue mark. Some guys put a B on it for bottom. This handle also really helps me because I know that it should always be pointing to the right, which is to my belly, and then as I spin it, it's always going to be pointing down. If my belly color is always here, then and my handle is always to the right and always down, then I know that I've got it right. So here's how this thing works. It's got the dual injector, you can see, has two different ports, two different tubes, right? Got two ports in here. So I'm going to put it in there, cinch it up, and twist. That locks it in on these brackets here. Now, because this is the first time that we're going to use it, we need to get this injector even more warm than it was on our heating block. And you do that by purging the system. So we're going to pull it a little bit, and we're going to push it back in. Do that again. Push it back in. And that's just warming up that injector. I'm going to go a little bit more, about halfway. I'm going to push it back in. I'm going to do that again. Don't have to do this every time. It's really just on the startup. Once your injector gets nice and toasty, you're ready to rock and roll. So here's a full draw. This is an 8-ounce injector, 4 ounces on either side. Nice and slow. There we go. I'm going to spin it. That seals off the ports. There's again. I want to see my blue mark on the right hand side, because all of my bellies, these were not. Oh, good thing I said that. All of my bellies are faced to the right. Into the swim baits. There we go. That O-ring on the bottom, I think, keeps it from coming up and filling up. So even though this injector covers those ports a bit, you actually don't create a seal, because that O-ring keeps that from happening. At least that's my hypothesis. Go back through, fill those up. Beautiful. Looks good. Now we're going to go back to the system, handle to the right, put it back in there, seal it, and push that unused back in. And it's going to get tough right here. It's about 2-3 inches. Got to really shove that part in, because at the top of this injector, it started to seize a little bit. It started to get just a little chunky. So you got to shove that back in there, so this whole warming unit will remelt that effectively. We also need to purge it between shots, just to get that gelatinized, I guess is a good way to start to describe it, plastic back in the mix, so when we do another full draw, we get fresh and melted plastic. So here's another full draw. Now we're going to do, what do I got here? This is the 3-inch crusher. And then I've got a jerk bait. And I don't know if I'm going to have enough to do these other two. So let's go back to the unit. Put it back in there. Shove it back in. There we go. Purge it just a little bit. I'm watching my ports there. They're starting to sink in. So we'll get those, we'll get a little plastic on top, just like you would with a cup. You follow after. Alright, full draw. I want to fill these guys in so we don't get any voids. And we've got, I think that's the Ned craw, 2.5 Ned, and then the shrimp, speed shrimp. There we go. Alright, our baits are all cooled off. The shooting star continues to do its thing, waiting for me to demold these, clamp them back up, and reshoot everything. It really is a marvel. Let's start with the 3-inch chunk swim bait. And I'm glad that I saw that at the last second, that they were spun over, because these are fantastic. Oh, look at those. Oh man, oh, the light's gonna do weird things on me. There's the Onyxia. Golly, let me just get one out. There you go. Isn't that gorgeous? And there's that red as you turn it. See the red, how it plays and on the black? And then as you turn it, bam! All that gorgeous hollow shift. See-through, red, dragon. That's an entire 6, every one of them perfect. Let's go to the 3-inch inshore. Likewise, absolutely perfect, every one of them. Isn't that a pretty swim bait? Profile and everything. And it wears this color extremely well. So good. So good. So we are 6 for 6 twice. Let's open up the 4.1 whip wad. I mean, they're just gorgeous. They're just gorgeous. Man alive. So good. And into the tail. As you turn the tail, you see that? Oh, as you turn the tail, it goes from clear to Onyxia. Those are awesome. Now on to the multi-cavities. First up is the Crusher. There's the top, looking good. And now the money shot. Oh yeah. So good. Check that bad boy out. Zap. Got that little fork tail going. Oh yeah. Got 20 of those. On to the 5-inch, or is it? Yeah, 5-inch 6-cavity jerk bait. There's our tops. Got to be careful with this guy because you can rip them right out of there. There's the bellies. Tell me that wouldn't catch them. Holy moly. What a gorgeous fluke, soft jerk bait, whatever the heck you want to call it. Still more. We still have more to come. Goodness gracious, so many freaking baits. This one is the Ned Craw. I love this mold. So good. Top. Once again, beautiful Onyxia belly. What a gorgeous little bait. Love it. We have one more to go. The Speed Shrimp. Perhaps the most underrated Ned bait on the market, in my humble opinion. Sits on a Ned head like that. Got these two little tentacles just flipping and flapping, all these little dudes on the end with that Onyxia as a belly. Oof. Catch them all day long. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today. A little introduction to the mini shooting star. It will be around for quite a while. We will definitely do some more videos on it, so be sure to be on the lookout for those. Until next time, I got a lot more plastic to shoot, so I'm gonna get on it. Thanks for joining me. See you guys in the shop.